We're on. Okay. I'll win that. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the annual general meeting of Osoyoos Town Council, Monday, June the 17th, 2019 at 1 p.m. in Council Chambers. So we'll call the meeting to order, and the first thing is for me to present the Mayor's message. On behalf of Osoyoos Town Council and staff, I am pleased to present the 2018 annual report. This report provides the community with an update on projects identified in our 4-year business plan. We are pleased to see the continuation of the Resort Municipality Initiative funding. Council has been proactive in meeting with provincial ministers at Union of BC Municipalities, Federation of Canadian Municipalities, and Southern Interior Local Government Association on issues concerning roads, water, and sewer infrastructure, education, health, tourism, and policing. Council continues to serve on the Destination Osoyoos Board, the Okanagan Regional Library Board, Regional District of Okanagan-Similkameen, Okanagan Basin Water Board, International Lake Osoyoos Board of Control, Municipal Insurance Association, Southern Interior Development Initiative Trust, and attend all board and education meetings in School District 53. Town staff and residents worked with our emergency operations team to handle the flooding and evacuation issues in the spring of 2018. Our mission statement is to provide quality community services and facilities which meet the needs of the current and future residents of Osoyoos in a socially, economically, and environmentally sustainable manner. In keeping with this statement, we strive to ensure that we provide a safe environment, efficiently managed services, and an attractive town for both our citizens and our many visitors. I would like to acknowledge and thank the volunteers who contribute countless hours to our community. The many festivals, conferences, farmers markets, car shows, live music, are annual events that can only happen with the support of our dedicated volunteers. Our community groups, coaches, and mentors provide our residents and visitors with numerous arts, sports, and leisure activities all year. As Mayor of the Town of Osoyoos, it is my great privilege to be associated with Town Council and staff who work so diligently to provide the best quality services to our residents in a fiscally responsible manner. Osoyoos shall continue to be a transparent, inclusive, and progressive community offering Canada's warmest welcome. So I'd like to ask the Chief Administrative Officer for his report, please.
Thank you, Mayor McKortoff. In 2018, our administrative and operational teams continued their commitment to overall success and excellence in the delivery of municipal services to Osoyoos residents and visitors. A big part of this commitment was delivering services in a cost-effective and efficient manner, enabling municipal tax and utility rates that are the envy of other communities. I am happy to report that we achieved remarkable success on many of the initiatives identified in the 2018 business plan and illustrated adaptability to respond to the evolving priorities that challenge us during the course of the year. The business plan identifies projects on a 4-year basis and successfully functions as a staff and council reference and planning tool. The closed department reports provide an in-depth summary of the activities. However, I'd like to highlight some of the most notable achievements. In terms of planning for the community's future success, administration undertook several planning design projects to ensure that Osoyoos is positioned for future infrastructure replacements, funding that will enable decreased costs to local users, and effective program delivery. Projects included the completion of the Community Medical Facility Feasibility Study, the Town Centre Renewal Plan, Age-Friendly Community Plan, Urban Forestry Plan, continued discussions on the development of a regional aquatic centre, Lakeshore to Cottonwood Drive bike path final design, a fire department master plan, and final designs of the main sewer lift station. In terms of council administration transparency and community engagement, We continue to have open meetings for budget development, webcasting, and television broadcasting of council meetings, continue to release in-camera motions, connect with the community through e-news. In terms of infrastructure construction, completed projects included the Canal Trail lighting, West Bench Dog Park and Baldaman, Town Hall repairs, reconstruction of 62nd Avenue to Vesuvius Secondary, Main Street storm sewer and pedestrian safety improvements, paid parking machine at the boat trailer parking and 4 community entrance signs, accessibility and upgrades, and the sewer main road construction. In terms of emergency services, we successfully responded to flooding in the spring of 2018. A state of emergency was declared and successfully implemented. In terms of community finances, continued modest tax and utility fee increases and sought out additional funding from other sources. Council successfully lobbied for the continuation of the resort municipality program into a 3-year program. Successful grant applications were made by staff to assist with age-friendly community plan and student employment. Notable challenges and opportunities for 2019 include continued resort municipality initiative project expenditures on a development of the Lakeshore Drive to Cottonwood Drive bike path, the construction of the main sewer lift station, town center renewal, water twinning, regional aquatic center, repairs to Cottonwood Park retaining wall, hiring a full-time fire chief, and implementation of in-house bylaw services. My appreciation is extended to all council members, staff, and volunteers whose effort made this another successful year. I look forward to continuing to serve Vesuvius community and implementing the directions of council to provide high-quality services and improve the quality of life in Vesuvius.
Thank you very much. And now we have some directors' reports, and Ms. Van Vianen, Director of Corporate Services.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The Corporate Services Department encompasses legislative responsibilities for the corporate officer under the Community Charter, main reception duties, bylaw enforcement, land issues, human resources, emergency management, victim services, transit, insurance, contract administration, leases, and records management. The following summarizes the activities of the Corporate Services Department in 2018. A license to use agreement were provided to Wine Country Racing Association and the Penticton Model Airplane Club for a 1-year term. 2 new bylaws were adopted. This does not include amending bylaws. 5 new policies were approved. The Regional Transit Committee worked toward implementation of changes in the Transit Future Plan. The Victim Services Contract and bylaw enforcement contracts were monitored throughout the year. 8 job postings were filled. General elections were held in October. This was the first time a second advance voting opportunity was required. Voter was 38.67%, which was low compared to 42.37% in 2014 and 40.23% in 2011. Total cost of the election was $18,144.62. Records Management Electronic Filing System was formally implemented by bylaw and policy. 1 new liability insurance case was received in 2018. There are currently 2 active claims being handled through MIABC. A risk management grant was obtained through the Municipal Insurance Association of BC for the purchase and installation of public access life rings. These were installed at Gyro, Lions, Cottonwood, and Legion beaches. The life rings are a program through the Life Saving Society of BC, and the town is proud to be able to provide these on some of our beaches. 10 Freedom of Information requests were dealt with. 2 were from one individual taking a significant amount of time. 263 complaints were registered at Town Office, which is up from 183 in 2017. 1 park expulsion letter was handed out by the RCMP in 2018, which compares to 9 in 2017. The bylaw officer dealt with 3,194 bylaw infractions. These did not all result in tickets and were mostly educational dealings, with the majority being alcohol, dogs, and smoking in the parks. 151 warning tickets were issued and 166 municipal tickets were issued. Bylaw officers completed unsightly inspections on 91 different properties, and there were 24 dogs and 2 cats impounded. Emergency management took a large part of the months of April and May with high waters. On April 10th, 2018, the Emergency Program Coordinator was alerted to a snowpack of 152% of normal in the Similkameen. By May 2nd, this increased to 210% of normal. Warm weather and heavy melt started on May 4th, at which time Osias Lake reached a level of 912.82 feet. Accompanied by rain and warm temperatures, the lake started rising by 6 inches per day as of May 7th. A state of local emergency was declared on May 9th, 2018, and several homes were evacuated due to flooding. On May 10th, the Similkameen River at Nighthawk peaked at 32,200 cubic feet per second, which was the third largest peak recorded for this site, whose records go back to 1929, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The highest peak on record was on June 1st, 1972, at 45,800 cubic feet per second. Osias Lake peak was at 916.42 feet on May the 12th. The state of local emergency was canceled on June 1st. Total sandbags used was 213,000. BC Forestry Service personnel were deployed to Osias to assist with sandbagging efforts, and several volunteers from throughout the community came out to fill and place bags. The show of community support was spectacular. The total cost for the 2018 flooding in the town of Osias was $127,337.28, of which a majority was recoverable from the province. Emergency support services were deployed during the flooding evacuation process and worked countless hours at the reception center. The ESS director for Osias is Eileen Varga, and Judy Dallas is her deputy. I would like to thank all the corporate services staff for all their hard work throughout the year, including Brianne Hilson, Mark Coyne, and Amy Robinson. And that is my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Van Vianen. You have been busy. We now have Mr. Zakall with Financial Services.
Thank you, Member McKortoff. So the Finance Department's responsibilities and authority come from the legislation mandated by the Community Charter, provincial and federal statutes, and municipal bylaws. The Department's main goals are to provide excellent financial services to the citizens of Osias, Town Council, staff, visitors, and external agencies, to provide sound and timely financial advice to Council and the administration to assist in making the best decisions on behalf of the citizens of Osias, to safeguard the assets of the town of Osias. Functions of the Finance Department include preparing and monitoring of the 5-year financial plan and annual financial statements, preparing and interpreting interim financial statements, levying and collecting municipal taxes and utility fees, processing accounts payables, receivables, and payroll, maintaining and updating cemetery records, developing and maintaining financial systems, borrowing and investing surplus and reserve funds. Total revenues generated in 2018 from the sale of land and/or services, taxation, grants, fees, and other sources totaled $16,680,201, less expenses of $10,656,976 for net revenue of $6,023,225. 2018 saw a 2.93% increase to municipal taxes, $13.42 increase to residential water user fees, $9.66 increase to residential sewer user fees, and a $3.90 increase to garbage and recycling fees. The town of Osias received a number of grants in 2018 and include the RMI, Resort Municipality, $380,656, Community Works Fund, $269,205.54, Strategic Priorities Fund Water Twinning, $1,825,181.46, Community Water Wastewater Grant of $383,889, Twinning or Rural Twinning Grant of $370,800, Age Friendly Grant of $5,111.31, from the province Healthcare Feasibility Study Rural Dividend Grant of $100,000, under the province Downtown Revite Rural Dividend Grant $10,000, Local Government Program Grant $13,912.50, Municipal Insurance Association $6,000, ICBC $29,500, Small Communities Grant $491,574, Federal Grants in lieu $13,646.37, RDUS Gas Tax Grant of $50,000, RDUS Pickleball Grant of $10,000, Canada Summer Jobs $11,973, Provincial Streetlights $2,381.84, and Okanagan Basin Water Board Sewer $11,278.02. All statutory requirements were met in 2018, and a copy of the 2018 audited financial statements are located under the financial statements section of the annual report. And likewise, at this time, I'd like to thank all of staff for all of their dedicated work to the organization, and thank Council for the working relationship that we have as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zakall. You're a wizard, and we appreciate you. Could we have Ms. MacKay, our Planning and Development Services, please?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. So the Planning and Development Services Department was busy this year. The department itself is responsible for land use planning, growth management, urban design, parks and trails planning, environmental protection, affordable housing, special project management, of course. Also maintain the town's official community plan and other bylaws for land and water zoning, land use procedures, subdivisions, building construction, signage, soil removal, applications for all of those amendments to those sort of bylaws as well. Also community and intermunicipal business licensing, bylaw enforcement related to building and zoning bylaws, also building permit processing, plan reviews, inspections, and the annual fire safety inspections and follow-up. Fortunately, I don't do that on my own. And though some days it does feel like that, doesn't it, when you're very, very busy. So, you know, we've got a great team over there. We've got Neil Paget as the senior building inspector, and Debbie Gagnon was there as our secretary, and then Don MacArthur came on in November as our new senior planner, so we welcomed him aboard last year. So the Southeast Meadowlark development area work continued there, and we're fortunately did have some people interested in, and the first home was purchased in the Yarra Meadowlark housing program. As Mr. Romanko noted, the town center renewal plan was completed, which includes a number of actionable items for our downtown area. Some other key things that happened last year, of course, was the urban forestry plan, and that was just the first phase that was done, and that was the inventory on trees and municipal lands and parks. We processed a number of applications in the department, 9 rezoning applications, 11 development permit applications, and 3 development variance permits. Extremely busy in building, with 98 building permits issued for a total of $15.7 million. That included 34 new single-family homes, which was up from 25 the previous year. Approximately 230 building inspections were conducted. There was 100 fire safety inspections and follow-ups conducted. We responded to 45 complaints in association with bylaws managed by the department. 7 sign permits were issued. We also issued 43 new municipal business licenses. That was in addition to the 332 that were renewed. So that shows some growth in the business sector. And also another 48 business license inspections were conducted. So we're happy to report that we are also submitted for our Climate Action Revenue Incentive Program reporting. And yeah, it's been a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. MacKay, and you're sort of like the Energizer Bunny, and we do appreciate you as well. Operational Services, Mr. Romanko.
Thank you. The Operational Services Department's main areas of responsibility include delivery of safe drinking water, operations of irrigation districts 8 and 9, ensuring municipal sewer systems meet all legislative standards, maintenance and repairs of all town infrastructure, including roads, sidewalks, parks, and municipal buildings, operations of the Osoyoos and District landfill, and a number of project management of various capital projects. In 2018, the Operational Service Department was involved in 18 capital projects from planning to various stages of construction. In terms of roads, the road realignment of 89th Street at Kingfisher Drive was part of the main sewer lift station replacement project. Also, the reconstruction of 62nd Avenue between Highway 97 and Osoyoos Secondary School. In terms of parks, installation of 15 decorative street lights along the Canal Trail between 74th Avenue and Highway number 3. And also the creation of the new West Bench Dog Park and Ball Diamond reconstruction. In general, there was the installation of numerous self-watering flower planters around town and recycling containers as well. And also the construction of the 4 welcome signs at the entrances to town. In terms of water, the contract number 3 for the rural twinning 87th Street to 104th Avenue was completed. In terms of sewer, the completion of the design of the new main sewer lift station. And in the area of personnel, after 37 years of dedicated service, Mike Thomas retired as the operational services foreman at the end of 2018.
Thank you very much. And now we have Mr. Davis for Community Services.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Community Services Department develops programs, coordinates special events, and manages facilities for the town of Osoyoos. It has been a pleasure to be part of the dynamic environment throughout town. We are truly blessed and fortunate to have the amenities and events that we host on an annual basis. This past year, we developed the West Bench that included outdoor pickleball courts, a baseball diamond, and a new dog park. The Sun Bowl Arena was busy as ever as we hosted a number of tournaments, figure skating camps, hockey camps, and our own Junior B Coyotes. A huge thank you to the Osoyoos Rotary Club for sponsoring skating at the Sun Bowl Arena. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the countless volunteers, staff, and council who keep our community thriving. Following are the highlights throughout the year. In terms of administration, staff processed 21 park use permits and 32 special event applications. We continued with our Memorial Bench program. The Osprey Nest had over 62,000 views and people watched for more than 771,000 minutes. We received a grant of $20,000 from UBCM to offset the costs of completing an age-friendly program. This included a plan that will be monitored to assist older people live active, socially engaged, independent lives. Cardio Health completed the report in July. Community Services grant applications, we received over $100,000 in requests, and the town awarded over $60,000 in grant funding. Staff received an Enabling Accessibility grant of $32,000 to assist with the installation of a lift at Desert Park, which was later changed to the Sun Bowl Arena. We received an after-school grant of $1,500 from the British Columbia Recreation and Parks Association to enhance our Active Kids program. The Osoyoos Leisure Guide was produced in-house 3 different times. Our occupational health and safety consultant continued completing an audit of our program and attended monthly OHS meetings. Our staff attended the British Columbia Recreation and Parks Association Symposium and also attended the Recreation Facilities Association of British Columbia Conference. The boat trailer parking lot and marina was officially opened as of June the 3rd. The pay parking machine had a revenue of over $25,000. Our annual pass sale was held September the 12th, and it reduced our passes by 30%. Our age-friendly and accessibility committee was formed and included Mike Stiles, Cheryl Wheaton, Sue Tirata, Sally Lindy Jones, Councillor King, and myself. The first meeting was held on September 6th. Community Services Advisory Committee met every other month to discuss recreation programs and review budget numbers. The Age-Friendly Recognition Program application was submitted to the Ministry of Health. In terms of facilities, parks, and green space, we converted our accessible washroom at the front entrance of the Sonora Center into our adult change table room. We installed an aeration system at the Marina Lagoon to keep the mouth of the lagoon free of ice. The West Bench Dog Park Committee met on numerous occasions. The Osoyoos Daycare temporarily moved to the mezzanine at the Sun Bowl Arena, and the after-school care was located at the Cactus Center. Repairs at the marina were completed prior to April 1st as per our marina operations policy, and marina slips were full. The marina was also fitted with pile extensions to prevent the structure from floating away. Our outdoor pickleball courts were completed. The Sun Bowl Arena started shutdown and annual maintenance. New LED lights were also installed. Free little libraries were installed at Lions Park and at the Splash Park at Jack Shaw Gardens. Improvements to Kinsman Park included replacing the 3-base swing and also installing an expression swing. LED lights were also installed in the gymnasium at the Sonora Center, and flooring was installed at the weight room. New fitness equipment was installed in the weight room, including our Green Series treadmill, our Helix lateral trainer, and a new step recumbent cross trainer. In terms of programs and events, winter programs started in January. We hired a new swimming instructor and started lessons at the Holiday Inn pool. We organized our family toboggan event at Mount Baldy. Our family day disco skate was a success. We had over 130 people attend, and we received a grant of $1,000 from the British Columbia Recreation Parks Association. The Snowbird breakfasts were held the week of February 20th to the 22nd in the Sonora Center Gymnasium. And new programs included a story walk for preschoolers, which was partnered with Osoyoos Library, a historical walking tour, which was partnered with the Osoyoos Museum, and a hula hoop workshop. We also offered archery, wood carving, Zumba, and aqua Zumba. And our new fitness class instructor averaged over 40 participants per class. Thank God It's Saturday, which was developed from Thank God It's Friday, was scheduled at the Sonora Community Center with the Teen Lounge, and this was in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. Our volunteer appreciation event was held on April 21st. The award for Best Volunteer Project went to the International Migrant Workers Ministry. The Outstanding Community Group Award went to the Osoyoos Music in the Park, and the Outstanding Individual Award went to Donna Kelso and Annette Starr. The medieval fair took place at Desert Park. A thank you to the community for supporting the Heart and Stroke Foundation fundraiser at Gyro Park. And following that, the big bike ride took place on May 9th. We hosted an annual bridge tournament at the Sonora Center on May 25th, and we had over 150 participants. Family splash days were held at the Splash Park. Our Cactus Day Kids Camp was a success once again. We had a total of 224 kids registered over the summer. Participate Osoyoos was scheduled for September 12th at the Sonora Community Center. Our Halloween event included a Monsters Ball and pumpkin carving decorated contest. And of course, adult advanced pickleball started a league at the Sonora Center. We organized the annual Rocking with Santa event at the Sun Bowl Arena. A donation of $1,000 was received from the Elks, and it was received to put on the event. We had a record attendance of 150 plus. And our adult volleyball league was organized using the Sonora Gymnasium and the elementary school gymnasium. And that's it.
That's it?
That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. You do an amazing job of coordinating all the activities at the community center, at the Sun Bowl Arena, Desert Park, the Cactus Club down here, so thank you very much. Mr. Romanko, you're going to do the fire department?
Okay, I can. It's not on the agenda, but
yes. It's on my agenda, and it says Mr. Romanko will present.
oh, it's not on my agenda.
Oh, it's not.
But we can do that.
I've got it right on here.
I
just want to make sure you're prepared.
The town of Osoyoos operates a volunteer fire department, which consists of 30 paid on-call firefighters. In 2018, the department responded to 190 calls, 129 for the town, 60 for rural area A, and 2 mutual aid calls to Kiramias. In addition, the town contracts fire protection services to the Osoyoos Rural Fire Protection District and to the Osoyoos Indian Band. The town continues to maintain the full mutual aid agreements with neighboring fire departments to provide assistance. The firefighters continued to host their annual fundraisers in 2018, which included the oyster feed and Easter weekend barbecue. These events involve many hours of volunteer time by members and their families, and the support is greatly appreciated. The terms of reference was completed, and a consultant hired to complete a fire services master plan, and that master plan was completed and provided numerous recommendations which are being currently implemented in 2019. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No problem.
It's right on my agenda, so there we go. So the next thing that we're going to do is that it says council objectives and measures, and I'm going to highlight some of the things that we had talked about and for the year 2018. And there was 2 main things that took up a fair amount of our time last year. One of them was the flooding issue in the spring, which seemed to take up more time than we actually anticipated, and other things had to be postponed for a bit. Thank you to the Corporate Services Department for taking the lead on that. It was definitely a huge issue for all of us to deal with, and we hope that we've learned quite a lot about how to manage floods and how to get resources and use the facilities that we've had. Certainly the regional district was a big part of it too, because that was the emergency operations center. So that took a great deal of time. And then in the fall, the elections of new council and water councillors took a fair amount of time. And because we are over 5,000, we had to have 2 advance polls and 1 regular poll. So you've already heard that reported on. So those 2 things took a lot of time. But when we do our strategic plan, our business plan for the year, we look at the types of things that are important to all of us, and we call them council priorities, but really council makes these priorities, but our staff actually undertake the work for it, so we appreciate that. So some of the things that we recommended for priorities for the year was the community medical feasibility study implementation. And you heard that last year we did the study, the year before we did that. Now the implementation has been slowed down a little bit because Interior Health and the Ministry of Health have come out with a primary care network group, and it is trying to sort of take over some of those initiatives, and we're still learning about this. Councillor Bennett and I attend meetings that have to do with how we can best manage the healthcare resources. And so this feasibility study is still on the back burner. We haven't moved forward as much as we thought we were going to. Another implementation of the community cannabis regulations, and in 2018, the get a year ahead, the federal government announced that cannabis would be legalized, and that in turn started a lot of soul searching and looking at ways that we could make best use of that information. It is not up to the town to make all of those decisions, but we did decide that one of the things we wanted to do was have local businesses run the cannabis operations in this town and not the provincial government. However, there seemed to be updates on that on almost a weekly basis for a while, and we had several people that have come to the town and inquired about opening up a facility, and we have spent a fair amount of time going through that, having public hearings and passing on that information. And Ms. MacKay has sent a lot of that down to the provincial government once all of the regulations and the rules had been accepted, and we have not heard back yet from any of them. So that's kind of an ongoing thing, but it started last year. The West Bench Dog Park and the Ball Diamond was scheduled to be looked at, and as a matter of fact, we understand that this week is the official opening. So while it takes quite a while to get all of that done, we certainly appreciate all of our town staff and our public works staff for getting that ready, and I know that Councillor Rhodes has been involved with that the whole way. So we're looking forward to the grand opening this week. Downtown revitalization was another thing that we decided was extremely important, and that is moving along. We've had some open house, some consultation, and I believe that very soon we're going to choose a a group to come in and lead that, and so that's a positive. And I think it'll take about another year, but it's been taking a while to get that organized. Resort Municipality Initiative. That's another huge thing because we are one of the 14 resort municipalities in the province, and Mr. Romanko and I have been at meetings with the provincial government to try and explain why it is so important to us, and along with the other resort municipalities. And in fact, we're very pleased that we now have a 3-year agreement on this, and that we can continue to work on some of the things which take more money than we would get in 1 year. So we have to plan and make sure that we get those projects on the book so that we can do them over a couple of years. Affordable housing, and that's been mentioned too over at Meadowlark, or near market housing. We know that of the 4 houses that were being built that under the Affordable Housing Authority, 2 of them, I think 3 of them have been bought now out of 4, so that's wonderful. And the people who have moved in are really delighted with it. So we're very pleased that that initiative has been working. And RCMP staff levels. This has been an ongoing issue that we continue to deal with because we're now over 5,000. As of the last census, we are required to pay more for policing than we had before. And we're also have been asking for more police officers here, and I believe that that is in the works. So we're very pleased that all of those initiatives are working, and that our town staff do an amazing job of ensuring that all of council priorities and all of the things that we think are important. We do a lot of discussing with our town staff, and we try and work together, and I think that we have done a good job of that, and I just want to say thank you to all of our town staff for helping us and for making sure that this is a great place to live and to work. So with that, I'm going to ask if for the councillors here, if they would like to say a few words. And I see the first one on our list is Councillor Harvey. Unfortunately, Councillor Harvey is away at the moment. He's on holiday, and he was not able to call in for this meeting. So next is Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McKortoff. So I'd like to just acknowledge some of our staff and directors, and I'm going to start with Jim Zakall. Don't worry, this is not a roast.
It'll come up sometime, won't it?
Somehow or another, I don't know how you do it, you make those numbers understandable to absolutely everybody. Those columns are straight. Everything that you report to council is meaningful, and what an incredible assistance that is when it comes to making decisions regarding our budgets. And somehow or another, we survive an audit every year. And one of the most important things about an audit is the comments that the auditors make, and everything that they say is complimentary. They're just glowing reports every year, and I wanted to acknowledge that because lots of times people who are interested in numbers, that's all that they look at, and they never understand how they get there, and sometimes the meaning is a little bit cloudy for people, but you sure make it great for everybody. But really, having said all of that, the most important thing that happened in the 2018/19 budget was the lack of that clickety-clack printer, paper coming out of that machine endlessly through the many, many days that we work on budgets. So thank you very much for making that change.
You betcha.
Yeah. Janette, last year at this time I made a comment about the flooding because we were quite engaged in it at that time, but now it's behind us. I wanted to acknowledge how professional you were through that whole process. our emergency preparedness plans that we had made in the past really came to fruition, and you really proved to everybody how important planning is when it comes to those kind of things. And thank you so much. You know, I know there was hundreds of volunteers out there. Everything is important, but I'm here to acknowledge that your input in that was invaluable, and thank you very much for what you did. Your policies that you bring forward to council, the legalities that you deal with all the time are forthright and they're timely, and your responses are over the top, so I really wanted to thank you about all of that. Legalities are hard to understand, but somehow or another you bring them to us and we get through them every time, so thank you very much for that. Gina? So we have another year under our belt, and I'm not going to really comment much on all of the accomplishments that you've had in your department over last year and of course this year, but I did want to comment on your personality and how important that is to everybody in this community, not only the members of council and staff and your fellow directors and that kind of thing. Everybody in Osoyoos really, really appreciates your honesty, your forthrightness, and that attitude is just over the top, and thank you very much for that. Gerald, the Sonora Center is an old building. Our arena is an old building, and somehow or another you just keep that thing running so smoothly. And you know, one of the things that I noticed, because I get to go to the Sonora Center quite often for meetings and that kind of thing, you know, it's looking really good, you know, like really good. Like not only now, but, you know, it's been a progressive improvement over the years, and thank you very much for that. Last year we had some major challenges with repurposing our ball diamond and opening up a new dog park. It's been a privilege to work with you, particularly on the dog park of it. I don't know how it happened. That field that was full of puncture vine and weeds and hills and something that was just kind of bordering on an eyesore in our community. What a great improvement! And your guidance through this whole process is just something that I really appreciate. I don't want to minimize the committee, the public committee that worked on it, but we'll be talking about that at the grand opening on Wednesday as well. So. Our Operational Services Department, parks, sewers, water, potholes, just about everything that you can touch and feel in our community is influenced by our Operational Services Department. And one thing that I want to comment on, that I comment on every year, is when I engage with people in our community and visitors to our community, tourists and friends and everybody that comes here, the one common denominator is you guys have the most beautiful parks of any place that I've ever been. And you know, when you walk around in it, and when you live here and it's part of your life, sometimes you get a little complacent and you get a little, you know, just, well, they're there and I'm not going to really appreciate it. But man, oh man, our park system and the way that they look and the way they feel, just absolutely everything is just perfect about them. And that is a direct responsibility of our Operational Services Department. So, Barry, I'm going to say the same thing I did last year because I feel that it's pertinent. You accept responsibility better than any CAO that I have ever met. But really, it's the application and the forthrightness, boy, that's a tough word to get out, that is noticed. You give us options, you make decisions, and you stand by them. What a privilege it's been to be able to work with and for and engage with you on an ongoing basis. Thank you very much for everything that you did. So I don't think I've missed anybody. So you guys all feel that you're really important, right? So, and you sit here and you talk about all the things that you do. And even though you provide guidance, it's really your staff and our staff that brings it all together for everybody. And even though I would like to acknowledge each one of them individually, that's almost impossible to do here in this venue. So I'm going to ask if you would, pass on extreme gratitude to all of the staff and let them know that everything that they do in our community is really appreciated. And, they work early in the morning and they work in the afternoons, and a lot of people don't get to see them. But man, oh man, this community just thrives, and it really does make Vesuvius a great place to live and work and enjoy everything that we have. So that's
Thank you.
my report.
And Councillor Rhodes is very good at producing a wonderful report every year, so we always enjoy listening to him. Well done. Thank you, CJ. Councillor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ditto, Mr. Rhodes. Makes life easier after listening to you. But I really want to thank all the staff for their work they do and providing us with the information we need to make the decisions we have to make to move the town forward. I'd also like to make a special thanks to Director of Community Service, Gerald Davis, for his commitment to the Parks Department and Community Services. I have the privilege of sitting on a couple committees with him, and the information he brings to the table is I don't know the right word, it's just fantastic. A couple of things I'm going to repeat, though. He did mention 2 pages worth of information that was accomplished, that the town did receive a $20,000 grant from UBCM to complete an age-friendly program, and I'm happy to say that that happened, and through that an age-friendly and accessibility committee was formed, and because that committee was formed, we were able to write another grant for $32,000 to assist in the installation of a lift that will be moving forward at the ice arena. Also on the Community Services Advisory Committee, which meets every couple months to review the programs and the budget, again, staying on budget, finding different ways to accomplish things, is just a kudos to you and the committees you oversee, Mr. Davis. And one other thing to mention, economic development was taken in-house this past year, and really look forward to this year to moving that program forward. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor King. Councillor Bennett, our newest councillor.
Well, I guess I've got the most to say, so I hope everybody's ready. I was only in council for a couple months. I'm proud to be elected to the board, and I enjoy serving on the committees I'm on. I'm also like to say that I agree with Councillor Rhodes and Councillor King that the town staff and management have always done a great job. You walk around, look at the parks and through the town and the flowers on Main Street, and you don't see anybody linger around. Whenever you see a town staff person, they're always working hard. So kudos to all the town staff, and next year I'll do my 4-page speech. Thank you.
Thank you. So what I'd like to do, please, is I think we need to have the Vesuvius annual report received. Right, Miss Van Vianen? Could I have a motion, please? Thank you. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor King. All in favor? Thank you. And the next part of our program is to ask if there are any questions about the annual report from the public. Is there anyone who would like to come and ask a question about the annual report? Miss Birgit, would you like to come up to the microphone, please?
Is it okay if it isn't a question?
Absolutely. If you have a comment, that's
yes. Fine. Well, echoing CJ, Mr. Rhodes' comments, I just wanted to say, as a member of the community, as an individual member, and as also a person that's on various committees, I interact with both staff and council, and I really appreciate how warm and receiving all the staff and council are. When we have questions, they're answered in a concise way. I get so much support at Sonora Center. Thank you very much. On any topic, we get lots of support in this town, and we thank you all.
Well, thank you for saying that. Is there anyone else who has a comment or a question on the annual report? Do I have to ask a third time? No, okay. So, hearing none, I will need a motion to adjourn the annual meeting, please. Councillor Bennett, Councillor Rhodes, all in favor. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We will start our regular meeting at